What are human rights? A human is a member of the Homo sapiens species, a man, woman, or child. In other words, a person. Rights are guarantees. So human rights are the rights you have simply because you're human. The idea of human rights is that each one of us, no matter who we are or where we are born, is entitled to the same basic rights and freedoms. Human rights are not privileges, and they cannot be granted or revoked. They are inalienable and universal. That may sound simple, but it gets incredibly complicated as soon as anyone tries to put the idea into practice. What exactly are the basic human rights? Who gets to pick them? Who enforces them, and how? The history behind the concept of human rights is long. Throughout the centuries and across societies, religions, and cultures, we have struggled with defining notions of rightfulness, justice, and rights. But one of the most modern affirmations of universal human rights emerged from the ruins of World War II, with the creation of the United Nations. In 1948, the UN General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was written by an international committee chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt. This document lays the basis for the modern international human rights law. The Declaration is based on the principle that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It lists 30 articles recognizing, for instance, the principle of non-discrimination and the right to life and liberty. It refers to negative freedoms, like the freedom from torture or slavery, as well as positive freedoms, such as the freedom of movement and residence. It encompasses basic civil and political rights, such as freedom of expression, religion, or peaceful assembly, as well as social, economic, and cultural rights, such as the right to education and the right to freely choose one's occupation and be paid and treated fairly. In past decades, international human rights law has grown, deepening and expanding our understanding of what human rights are and how to better protect them. So, if these principles are so well developed, then why are human rights abused and ignored time and time again all over the world? The problem, in general, is that it is not at all easy to universally enforce these rights or to punish transgressors. Even though the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is highly authoritative and respected, it is a declaration. It is not a hard law. Then, when individual countries violate it, the mechanisms to address those violations are weak. So, although the main bodies within the UN in charge of protecting human rights monitor and investigate violations, they cannot force states to change a policy or compensate a victim, for example.